Hi, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Saifikri. This is my presentation for project semester 4 individual project. So this is my smart room monitoring system, industrial level, where I will be using a DHT22 temperature and humidity sensor, as well as a MQ2 carbon monoxide sensor, where I will evaluate whether the room is safe or in a dangerous condition. So for our outputs, I have also included an LED and a buzzer to indicate that the system is active and the room is in a critical level. There is also an OLED where it will display the current condition of the room as well as the mode of the system, which I will describe further. And I have a potential meter, which will also display its threshold on the OLED to indicate whether the system is at a certain power level. So I will now start my project. Okay, so on the right side, you will see our dashboard. Okay, our dashboard. So here are some meters to indicate the values of our sensors and our potentiometer, which is basically our green energy concept. Below it is the system status, which is similar to the OLED, but basically on the NORAD dashboard. And then we have the automatic, we have the mode display, which will indicate whether it is in automatic mode or in override mode. And below it, we have some charts to basically record and log our sensor readings. And finally, we have override control, which is basically buttons to override the system. So override on will basically turn on the system and the outputs. So whether or not the threshold of the sensors are met, the system will still be activated. And override off is basically the same concept, but basically it shuts down the system regardless of the threshold. And resume auto basically turns back the system on and relies the system activation on our sensors. So as you can see, we also have notification that will be sent out when the system is activated. Okay, so as of now, the current carbon monoxide sensor reading has exceeded the danger threshold. So now the room safety is at a critical status and the alarm status is not active. So the mode now is automatic, meaning as I have mentioned earlier, the outputs of the system depends on the sensor threshold. So now we'll lower the value of the carbon monoxide sensor to a safe level, which will not activate the alarm system. So we will go now to the DHT22. So we will increase the temperature and humidity. So let's demonstrate the temperature first. The temperature is now at a dangerous level. So the notification, if you mention, if you notice, not only does it give you out a notification regarding the safety alert, but it also mentions what has triggered the system. So now let's turn temperature lower to a lower level and increase the humidity. Okay. As you can see, the humidity of the room does not trigger the system. Okay. Because humidity is not really a good indicator of whether a room is safe. So I've relied the threshold basically on temperature and carbon monoxide reading only. So now let's look at the solar power. Right now solar mode is low it's like critical level. Okay, you can see 68%. Okay. So basically, this indicates a solar panel. So basically, when the energy increases, it will show on the dashboard, and it will change the status of the solar mode. Is it to full, um, economy, or low? Okay. So when the solar mode is at a low level, it will basically show its status on the dashboard, and so the user can change basically change to a backup battery. That is the concept. Okay, so now I will demonstrate the override on. So as you can see, the sensor or the system right now is inactive because the threshold of the sensors are not met. But when I click on override on button, okay, the system will be activated. System will still be activated regardless of the threshold. And we look at the notification, it says all clear, meaning the sensor readings are fine, but it will tell that the user has activated the alarm manually. This is important uh, because when a sensor is broken down or is basically malfunctioning, override on can alert nearby users that do not know the safety of the room. Okay, so now we go resume auto. Resume auto. Okay, so now we are back at depending on the sensor readings. So the same concept, if a sensor malfunctions, let's say suddenly the DHT reaches an 80 degrees Celsius reading, but users at the location can see that the temperature of the room is just fine. So in order to basically prevent further further like dangerous actions, or basically to avoid unknown users regarding the safetiness of the room, they will use override off. So even though that the reading of the temperature is still at a dangerous level, the system will still be uh, deactivated. See? Okay. So now we can see on the OLED is currently in override mode. So I will now resume auto, and yes. Okay, and now the system is relying back on these sensor readings. So that is all for my individual project. Thank you for watching.